Sega.
So let's take a look at Pixelated Apollo's Empire army he has brought here. He has 2 demigryphs on his right flank. They're going to have some halberds. We also have 5 handgunners at the front ranks there. He also has 5 halberdiers at the back. And he has also brought some Hellstorm rocket batteries, which are going to be very fearsome against those zombies. He has some great swords in the centre there. And he also has a fearsome steam tank as well, which is going to be making a lot of mess in this battle, I could imagine. Steam tank being what it is. We also at the back have 5 swordsmen making up the back line. Carl Franz on Deathclaw. We have a Bright Wizard on a mount. And we also, over on the left side, have a Witch Hunter. Another of the Hellstorm rocket batteries. And we also have 4 Demigryph Knights making up his left wing. And they're going to be very fearsome on the charges as we've seen. But these are not the only units he's brought to the battle. Behind the Vampire Counts line, we also have 3 units in Vanguard deployment of Outriders. Going to be trying to harass the Vampire Counts best they can. Very good position for them there. But they're not alone as well. We also, on the Vampire Counts left, also have a single unit of Outriders as well. So that missile cav going to do what it can to try and slow the advance of the zombie horde. So talking to them, let's go take a look at the Vampire Count army. Let's take a look at Lionheart's Vampire Count force. So we're going to be seeing the Blood Knights for the first time, as he has taken 2 of them on his right flank. He does have some more on his left and right. So making up his front line, he's going to have 5 units of Skeleton Spearmen, 2 Cane Wraiths at the back there, and that's going to be his front line. He also has Monster in Vargolf. Also has Graveguard, 5 Graveguard and 5 Graveguard with great weapons. Making up his meaty front line will be 5 zombie units, as they're going to be kind of a bog for the enemy to get stuck in. He has Manfred on a zombie dragon. And he also has a Terrorgeist there, which is going to be very fearsome in battle. Also has a Wraith King, going to be very good in combat. He has some Crypt Horrors, making up the backline. There'll be 2 of those. As you can see, that's pretty much his front line. Now, making up his left flank will be 3 units of Blood Knights, and behind them he will also have 2 units of Vargeists there, which will be his flying monsters. But along with this, it seems that he will also be going for some Vanguard deployment with 2 units of Hex Wraiths, which are going to be very, very powerful. Very powerful cavalry, one of the best in the game, and they will be a big surprise for Pixelated Apollo. So, the beginning of this battle starts with a massive artillery barrage onto the Vampire Count army, with the Hellstorm batteries doing what they can. And see these missiles coming down here, slamming into zombies, into the Graveguard, into the Crypt Horrors as well, and just making an absolute mess of the Vampire Count's army. Yeah, you can see them flying in here. This is a terror for any of the Vampire Counts and Orc armies. These do tremendous amounts of damage, and look at that, smashing into those Graveguard, just making a mess of that front line. Absolutely massacre with those rockets. And this is where the Vampire army is going to have to rush forward here, try to minimize the damage they're going to take from these missiles, as a lot of them are firing into the monstrous creatures which are flying up ahead. Maybe not the best targets for those rockets. So let's take a look at how the Outriders are going to perform. They are going to make themselves appear behind the Vampire Counts line here. They're going to take some shots at the Blood Knights who have been sent to intercept them. And these shock cav are going to try and chase down these guys. But their luck is going to run out quite quickly as they eventually get chased down by Manfred on his zombie dragon. And the rest of the shock cav as well of the Blood Knights start to surround them and don't really have a big impact in this game. And with 4 units of Outriders being picked and basically getting no damage out of them at all, it's going to be a massive impact for Pixelated Apollo. And a lot of work to try and keep a unit together in the early stages, where they really didn't get much of a go at all. As you see, they're just really being cut down and outrun by the Blood Knights. So back to the main battle, and you can see the Hellstorm rockets are trying to pick out the Terrorgeist out of the air. Probably not the best target, but there are also some handgunners taking some shots as well. And then rockets are still landing. So the Terrorgeist here landing into the demigryphs here, Probably not the best attack considering they do the halberds, so they're going to do very well in that combat, but this is a very unsupported charge by Pixelated Apollo. He's going to charge his demigriffs into the crypt horrors here. Maybe not the best target considering how unsupported this attack is, and I think that's going to be quickly realised as he starts to turn tail and run, considering the Vampire Count army horde is just moving forward right now. They don't want to be cut off and unsupported. Talking of crypt horrors, they're making a feline here for the Empire gun line as they're rushing forward. Those handgunners are going to rush back before they even get a shot off, and here come the crypt horrors crashing into the Empire front line here. The blood and guts are smashing everywhere. This is the one lovely thing about the blood pack. You can see that impact from this monstrous infantry. They're just smashing through that Empire line, and those Hex Wraiths have finally made themselves visible on the battlefield and slamming into those demigriffs who already been involved in a charge already, and now they're going to be cut up by one of the more fearsome cavalry units on the battlefield in those Hex Wraiths. This is a bad news for Pixelated Apollo's right flank as they are being surrounded here by this superior cavalry force. Pixelated Apollo is going to throw some swordsmen into the fight to see if he can even up the odds a bit more here, but that looks like a foregone conclusion on that side. Over with the crypt horrors that are trying to just chomp their way through the Empire lines. Pixelated Apollo decided to use his Hellstorm rockets to fire at point-blank range into the crypt horrors. Quite effective. I mean, some of the rockets missing them completely, but some of them landing square in the face of those crypt horrors you can see there, and into some of their own troops as well. Talking of which, we have a zombie charge into the front line of the Empire here. You see them scurrying forward. Some Empire troops breaking ranks and charging forward to try and get their halberds into the undead masses. You see that steam tank there slamming forward and sending a zombie flying, and just a lot of blood and guts everywhere. Some great swords are also coming into the fight as well. They will make short work of any zombies. You know, the Cane Wraiths also got involved in the fight there on the Empire left, and it is a very, very messy fight across the board, but one that definitely favours the Vampire Count. So you can see that steam tank giving aid to his Empire front line and just smashing zombies left, right and centre. There you see the Wraith King kind of snuck in with the Vampire units there in the front line, kind of keeping a low profile, but he is doing mass amounts of damage in the Empire ranks, just jumping forward and killing what he can there. So the Hex Wraiths are doing a massive amount of damage, fighting swordsmen here over on the Empire right flank. They've already got rid of the Demigriff Knights, so there's no cavalry on the Empire right, and this is just going to be an open field day really for Lionheart's Vampire Counts as he's starting to bring up his Blood Knights here, and is also his Terrorgeist there flying in and doing what it can and just carving in through these great swords and swordsmen. And this is just not a good trade, and there's the Vargals as well coming in, and more Empire troops being fed into this meat grinder, but this is just not a favourable fight at all. And in come Graveguard as well. So this right flank is being massively overwhelmed right now. The longer it holds, the better for the rest of the Empire troops. They might be able to win on the other flanks, but over here they are being completely overwhelmed by sheer weight of numbers. You can see there's a spell there from the Bright Wizard, firing and doing some damage, but not as much as he probably needs. So you can see Karl Franz there's watching the action, going to put down another spell as well, but it looks like it's going to miss the Vampire Count army completely, and that is going to be massively helpful for the Vampire Counts as they continue to have that momentum on the Empire right flank. It does walk straight into the Vampire Count Blood Knights over there, does do a bit of damage to them, but nowhere near as much as he'd hoped. Probably wanted it to be into that big blob of the Vampire Count infantry there, but holding as best they can the guns, firing into that combat, but eventually Manfred and his zombie dragon have discovered them, and they will be cut to pieces in short order. You can see the rest of this fight just bloody fighting across the battlefield right now, but this whole right flank is still holding, but for how long? You can see Manfred there still killing those handgunners, but you can see here is going to be big hammer and anvil tactics as Hex Wraiths and also Blood Knights have snuck through and are going to make a charge now into this weak gun line of the Empire troops. See slamming in there, Hellfire rockets. Karl Franz coming to the rescue, but there you go, those Blood Knights just making their way through and cutting up what is left of these handgunners, and this is a massacre on the Empire right flank. You can see Karl Franz here is going to have to escape as he's taking a mass amount of damage, trying to save his handgunners, but they are being cut up. You can also see Bright Wizard is trying to do what he can to keep that Hellstorm rocket battery in action. Over in the front line though, you can see Karl Franz trying to keep order there. A lot of magic has been put down by the vampire counts, even cannon shot there from the tank trying to hit Manfred. And Karl Franz trying to even up the front line here, trying to keep it in order, putting down loads of stand your ground spells as well. But the Terrorgeist and Manfred and the Zombie Dragon are trying to hunt him down here. And you see the Empire troops are starting to break and run already. And Karl Franz is just on no HP right now. And he's going to get chased by Manfred on his Zombie Dragon. That steam tank's going to buy him a bit of time to escape. But you can see the front line is starting to buckle. And Empire troops are just running across the battlefield. You can see that the Witch Hunter is still on the battlefield, still doing a bit of damage, but the Blood Knights have spotted him. As he's firing into the Terrorgeist, he gets run down by the Blood Knights there. And it's just a handful of Empire troops still alive. You can see Karl Franz is running right now. He is wants no part of what's left of this battle. So you can see that those Hellstorm rockets on the left have just been cut up and the crew is dead. The Cane Wraiths are destroying what's left of those great swords. Blood Knights and Terrorgeists are fighting the steam tank. Some halberds are still fighting against that Wraith King, but not going too well. There's still a lot of Empire troops on the battlefield, but they're all tied down in little skirmishes, and none of them are really able to extricate themselves to help anywhere else on the battlefield. It's all individual fighting right now, and one that's massively swinging in Lionheart's favour with his mass amounts of vampire counts. You can see the Bright Wizard surrounded, doing what he can, still at the Hellstorm battery, but even he is starting to have second thoughts here as he's surrounded by Graveguard. The Witch Hunter is also being rode down and it looks like he is not long for this earth. The steam tank is the only thing still alive in the front line, covered in blood, surrounded by Blood Knights, monstrous creatures on all sides, and even Manfred on his Zombie Dragon has come in as well. And with that tank, the last hope of the Empire forces is scuppered as the rest of the troops flee the battlefield. And Lionheart is victorious over Pixelated Apollo. So, a decisive victory, I feel, for the Vampire Counts led by Lionheart. Superior cavalry on his left flank, and also quickly dealing with Pixelated Apollo's Outriders, so he wasn't particularly harassed by them at all. The Hellstorm batteries did what they could, but the Vampire Counts closed ranks quite quickly and used their superior cavalry and the Hex Wraiths to just get behind the enemy lines and really just throw them in confusion. And with that, Lionheart keeping the initiative throughout the battlefield was always 2 steps ahead of Pixelated Apollo, and he will go through to the next round to take on the Prince of Macedon.
Blood for the Blood God.